Hello friends and welcome back. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to our little coffee club. Today we're going to talk about this coffee here, and it's going to be a little bit different. Today I'm going to show you guys a little bit of how it is that this coffee ended up here in my kitchen. And I have about a 2.5 minute clip, that I'm going to play for you guys as to how it is that this coffee ended up here. And it's going to be a fun one. I still haven't opened it. I did try it, as you guys will see on this clip, and you'll see my first impressions of this coffee when I first tried it. But we're going to brew it in a minute, and we're also going to pull some shots. I still have not tried it as espresso. So we're going to dial it in for espresso. We're going to make a pour over, and we're going to see what we could do with this coffee here at home. When you get this coffee, they give you these little cards. And you will see in the clips, well, if you notice, you will see what they do with these cards around the store. They do have them on all the bags. And the little cards are pretty cool because they give you a little bit of the story as to where the coffee comes from. Most of these are, or maybe all of these are single origin coffees. They're very high-end coffees. And the little cards are kind of cool because they give you a little background story of where the coffee comes from, and gives you the tasting notes. So this is not your standard kind of Starbucks stuff. This is something a little bit more special, as you will see. And in a minute we're gonna brew it, so it's gonna be a fun one. So take a look at the clip, and then we'll be right back and make a pour over. So you guys know I'm pretty critical of Starbucks, but today we are in downtown Seattle at the Starbucks Reserve, and from what I hear, this is a coffee drinker's paradise.
Through the fire, I could conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the red light. I could run through the fire, I could conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the red
This light roast from Hawaii is very sweet, very fruity. I think the brew time was maybe a little bit long. That's the reason why. If not, I'm sure you could get a lot more brightness and quite a bit more acidity from this coffee, because it is a lovely light roast. Pretty wonderful. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed those images and clips of my experience at the Starbucks Reserve there in Seattle, Washington. It was a fun trip. I do have to say that Seattle is the coffee capital of the U.S. These people know what they're doing. Recently we were in Portland, Oregon, and wow, I thought that was it. I thought that was the pinnacle of coffee in the U.S. But man, Seattle, I think they outdo them just by barely, but I think they do take the crown. Anyway, we had a very good time in Seattle. It was a lot of fun. And at the end of this video, if you stay all the way to the end, there will be another few clips there. I think it's about 5.5 minutes more of content from Seattle. So if you stay all the way to the end, you know, if you see anything there on the video that you want to know more about as to a certain location or something that we did, or you know, you want to ask any questions, go ahead and comment below. I'll make sure to answer everyone. And anyway, let's go ahead and brew some coffee, see if it tastes just as good as it did at the Starbucks Reserve, or maybe we could get it even better. So we're gonna brew it in the origami with our usual recipe. We're gonna go with a 1:15 ratio, so 20 grams of ground coffee to 300 grams out, and we're gonna grind it at 6.5 on the K Plus hand grinder, and I think we'll get good results. So hopefully we'll brew it on the origami, get about a 3 to 4 minute brew, and it should be delicious. So let's try it out. Oh, another thing is I wanted to mention, although this is, as you could see there on the video, this is $100 a pound. So for Starbucks coffee, this is quite expensive, but it is specialty coffee. So what do you expect, right? It's specialty coffee. When I tried it there at the Reserve, it was absolutely excellent. It was great. All right. You guys saw the little pour over machine that they have. That was pretty cool. And yeah, but to put things into perspective, and although at $100 per pound, this is quite expensive coffee, but in the specialty coffee world, it's not a whole bunch. Okay, it's still reasonable, and it was delicious. It's very good coffee. But if you guys remember this one is $163 a pound. So it's quite a bit more than this one. So it's all relative. So for Starbucks, it is a bit expensive, but being specialty coffee, and this is not just your run-of-the-mill Starbucks blend, this is very delicious, very high-end specialty coffee. So being what it is very reasonably priced. So let's go ahead and brew some. All right, so I have the kettle almost ready. I set it for 97 degrees. That seems to work fairly well for a medium roast like this one. This is medium to light. Let's go ahead and get it open. Again, I still haven't tried this. I mean, I had it at the Reserve, but I haven't opened it at home. All right, let me show you guys the roast level. All right, I'm pretty sure you guys could see there. It is a nice medium to light roast. Again, when I was at the Reserve, I asked them, what's the lightest roast you guys have right now? And it was this one. It was their Hawaiian, and it was delicious. So let's try to brew it here and see what we could do with it. Again, I'm gonna use the K Plus. We have it set for 6.5. So I think it's 10 clicks every number. So this is 65 clicks. So 6.5. Should get good results there. All right, so the kettle is hot and holding at 97 degrees Celsius. I took a close-up picture of the coffee, and I'll put it here on the screen so you guys could get a really good look at it up close. Let's go ahead and dose out 20 grams. Man, I can't wait to have this coffee today. All right, 20 grams on the dot. All right, like I had told you guys that the bag has the roast date on it. You could see it right there, right on the bag. Okay, so we have our 20 grams ready to go. Now the game plan is to do 3 pours. Each pour is gonna be 100 grams. The very first pour goes right into the divot that I always make in the middle. I'll show you guys today. I'm gonna grab the phone and try to record a little bit with the phone so I can show you guys that. I create that divot in the middle, then I fill up with the water right from the middle, the first 100 grams, and I just let that drain out. It takes usually about 30 to 45 seconds. After that, I do the second pour from the sides, washing the coffee inwards. And then I do some agitation, just some gentle swirling of the coffee so everything has a chance to get saturated equally. And then after the second pour, we go ahead with the third pour, just wash everything down from the sides, bring it all to the middle, and just let the final drawdown happen. Usually the second pour takes about I would say about a minute to a minute and a half, and about another minute and a half for the third pour. So we always end up with somewhere around 3 to 4 minutes. So hopefully right around 3.5 minutes will probably give us like the best results. All right, let's go ahead and grind the coffee. Okay, so we're right at 6.5. This usually takes about 25 seconds. Well, I can smell that. Okay, let's get this set up. Let's fold the filter. Again, it's just a regular run-of-the-mill Hario V60 filter. All right, let's wash the paper and get everything warmed up. Okay, that should do the trick. Okay, now what I like to do is take the hot water from the carafe and put it into the glass. So it starts to get the glass warmed up. All right, let's set this off to the side. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put a little more water on it. Let's get the glass nice and hot. All right, let's get this show on the road. Man, that smells wonderful. Wow. Okay, now this is where I take the chopstick and I make that divot in the middle. I'm gonna take my phone and try to film this, do this at the same time and film it with my phone and see if this comes out. If it works, you guys will see it here on the video. If it doesn't, well, I'll show you a picture or something. But I think that's gonna work. Okay, basically I just create a divot just like that. I think you could see that there. All right, let's tear the scale. Start the time. All right. Grab my kettle as I try to film this and do everything at once. And start pouring right from the middle. See if I can get a shot for you guys. Okay, right from the middle. We're gonna do the first 100 grams. All right. Went a little bit over, 103. Put the kettle back on there. It's holding right at 97. Okay, so that's blooming. You could see some of the gas being released from the coffee. I don't know why I never filmed this with my phone before, but well, you live and you learn. We did it now. All right, so again, that took about a minute, but I'm going a little bit slower than normal. But now you see how there's like the divot is more pronounced there in the middle, right? So now with the second pour, the idea is to wash that down. I'm trying to film and do this at the same time. Not doing a terrific job here, but all we could do is try. Okay, need a little bit more. I'm at 180. All right, just a little short. 196. Okay, so the agitation is just a little swirl. That's enough. And then what that does, everything gets washed down to the bottom there, and it'll give you a nice flat bed of coffee. Okay, so we're there at the 2-minute mark, and we're almost ready for the third pour. It's almost all drained down. Okay, here goes the third one. Paying attention to the phone, to the pouring. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna do this again. All right, we're there. 300 grams, 2 minutes and 40 seconds so far. Final drawdown. I need like a stand or something holding the phone right here. I'll figure this thing out. But anyway, at least it gives you the perspective of, you know, what I'm seeing. It just makes it difficult for me to do the pouring. I can do some nice close-ups. All right, final drawdown. We're at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I say we probably have about another 15-20 seconds left. So we're probably gonna end up just under 4 minutes. Again, I probably went a little bit slow too because I'm trying to do all this filming, but all right, 3:45. It's almost dry now. You could see that it's not muddy at all. It's a nice flat bed. So this, you know, it should be lovely. This was spot on. The grind size was spot on. I'm gonna call this at 4 minutes. So pretty much 4 minutes, we're done. Let's try it. I can't wait to see if it's as good as it was at the reserve. But anyway, guys, that's the pour over there. 3 pours of 100 grams, so 20 grams in, 300 grams out, 1:15 ratio. It should be sweet and lovely. Okay, so let's give it a nice swirl. And let's try it out. Man, who would have thought, right? Me having Starbucks and enjoying it. I've had Starbucks, but when you have just the regular black coffee, you guys heard me talk about it before. It's not great to just have just straight black coffee. Their blonde roast is pretty good. That one it's decent. Nothing like this though. This is another level. Oh man, this is so good. I'm trying to search for if it has more acidity than when I had it at the reserve, but I have to say maybe a little bit. It's very similar to the way I had it there. You know, the sugar, I think they call it brown sugar on the tasting notes. Let me read the tasting notes to you guys. All right, so now I guess Hawaii has several regions where they grow coffee. You know, Kona is the real famous one. That's what everybody, you've heard of Hawaiian coffee, you've probably heard of Kona. When I asked at the reserve, I asked you know, there's one section there where you buy the whole beans. You saw it in the clips, and you know, a lot of the people there, they really do know a lot about the coffees and stuff. So I had to dig around a little bit, but I got one that really knew what they were talking about, and I talked to them a little bit. It looks like from what they were telling me that Kona is. Apparently they run into some kind of production problems. I don't know, they didn't have a very good, apparently they're probably not able to produce a lot of coffee. So it's kind of right now, it's really hard to find and very expensive if you do find it. But this one from this region, I guess you pronounce it cow, I guess. It's another region there in Hawaii producing coffee, and you can read a little bit about it here on the card. It says it's a neighbor to Kona, so it's I guess adjacent region. And okay, so the tasting notes. The tasting notes, it says white peach, hazelnut, citrus zest, and brown sugar. Now the brown sugar sweetness, I think is what the most, at least to me, is that what stands out. You know, what the sweetness of the coffee. A little hint of the citrus. But it's not very citrusy. It's not like the Costa Rican coffee that I had one time from Canopy. It was like biting into an orange. It was crazy. This is you do get a little bit of the citrus in it, but that the sweetness from the, you know, they call it the brown sugar. That note is what really stands out to me. It's delicious. It's very similar to what I had at the Reserve. Maybe a little bit more. You can taste a little citrus on it a little bit more is what I would say. Again, that would probably go away with the brewing time. If you brewed it a little bit longer, you would probably get it even sweeter, and you would probably start losing that little bit of that note. Anyway, this is wonderful, spectacular. You know, I'm not sure. I try to look into it a little bit. I haven't had a lot of time. We just got back from Seattle, so I haven't had a lot of time, but I did go on the Starbucks website. I think the Reserve doesn't have like some kind of way to order things online. At least I didn't see it. It was not an obvious thing. But Starbucks you do, and this coffee did show up in their website, but when you clicked on it, it did not give you like a price or any which way to order it or anything. I'm not sure if that's because right now you can't order it on the site, or it's because you can't order their coffees. I don't know. If you comment below if you guys have ever tried to order some kind of Starbucks coffee, did it work? First time I go on their website to search around there, but it is very interesting. I do highly recommend that if you're in the area, visiting an area, or you live in an area where there's a Starbucks Reserve, to give them a try. It is definitely not like anything like a regular Starbucks. It is nothing like that. You know, the way that it works, like you order and then they ask you to wait by the side and then they call your name, and that is all the same. That is still all the same. But the variety of coffees and the seriousness in which they take coffee, it's totally different. That is totally a different game. The amount of equipment in the place, it's gotta be millions and millions of dollars. I mean, you guys saw the machine that packages that, you know, I'm not sure if that's on the first clips. It might be on the clips at the end. I'm not sure, but I do show in this video, it will be under the machine that packages these little bags. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Everything gets done there on site, and they have real professionals, guys that are, you know, experts in the coffee industry, working the machines and doing the roasting and things like that. I had a great experience. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we ended up going 3 times. First of all, it was very convenient because it was walking distance from the hotel. But Seattle's full of coffee shops. But man, it was, I really liked it. I liked the experience at the Reserve. We also went to the very first Starbucks. That's just like a Starbucks. There's nothing different except for the lines and all the madness there. But besides that, you know, it's just like a regular Starbucks. I had a shot. I just ordered a shot of espresso. It was not good. I mean, let me just be honest. It wasn't good. Okay. During the trip, I had you know, a friend on Instagram. Maybe he watches the videos. He told me to check out a coffee shop with a Slayer machine. That anyone that spends the time to like and makes an investment into a Slayer espresso machine, they're bound to take coffee seriously. And he's never had a bad espresso from a shop that has a Slayer. So I did. I went to one. My very first time having a shot of espresso from a Slayer, I had just a straight shot. Man, what a different experience. That was totally different. That's like something like I would make here at home. It was terrific. It was great. You know, from that espresso to the one at Starbucks is just sleeps and bounds. Totally different. So yeah, Seattle was an awesome place to, if you're a fan of coffee, it's just a definite a destination that is pretty much a must see. You should go and check it out. The original Starbucks is right there at Pikes Market. It's right across the street from the main part of the market, and there's a bunch of stores there. We tried all the popular spots for the foods, and you know, it's just awesome. We had a great time. The food in Seattle as well is top notch. We had a lot of good food. Coffee is the best, so no doubt. If you guys want to hear more, or you see a place that looked interesting to you on the pictures there or whatever, just comment below, and I'll make sure to talk about it on the next video. So let me finish this up. I don't want the video to get like super long. It probably will anyway, but let's cut it right here. I'll finish my coffee up, and then I'll catch up with you guys in a couple seconds here, and we'll dial it in for espresso. I haven't tried this coffee as espresso yet anywhere. I didn't. Every time I ordered it at the Reserve, I would get it like this, a pour over, as you guys saw in the little machine, and it was delicious. I had it 3 times. It was delicious every single time. As a matter of fact, we had breakfast in Seattle, I believe 6 or maybe 7 times. So like half the times we went to the Starbucks Reserve, the other times we tried other places. So, but none of the times I order this as espresso. So today's gonna be my very first go at it. I did have some cappuccinos at the Starbucks Reserve, but you know, you order a cappuccino at Starbucks, you're just gonna get like anything else. It's just like a latte. There's no difference. Okay, they just make it one way. That's it. From what I could tell. I mean, my wife ordered a latte, and mine and hers tasted exactly the same. It was great. I'm not saying it was bad. You know, they steamed the milk well, and it was delicious. It was fine, but there's no difference. There was no, you know, in a cappuccino, your coffee should be a lot more present, and it should be the ratio of milk to coffee is different, you know, and it's supposed to have a different amount of foam as well. The latte is supposed to have less, but they were both exactly the same. Let me just say it. You know, we went to another coffee shop. I think the images are there at the end. Storyville. Storyville is also at Pikes Market, and it's right down from the original Starbucks. And Storyville is a great coffee shop. It's a great coffee shop. I ordered a cappuccino there, and it was a proper cappuccino. They did it the right way. And it was delicious. I mean, coffee in Seattle, it was outstanding. Anyway, guys, let me catch up with you in a couple seconds. Well, I just took another sip. I know I said I would catch up with you guys with the espresso, and you know, it's had a chance to cool down now. And by the way, the cup was quite warm, so it kept it hot for a while. But now it's had a chance to cool down. And I take another sip, and I was like, wow, this, man. This is great. You know, if you guys could still order this, I recommend try to grab a bag. By the way, this is half a pound, so this is $48. Okay, you get the full pound. You're looking at, with tax and delivery and everything, you're gonna be over 100. But again, if you put it into perspective, the other one, you know, you get a pound of the other coffee we were having recently, the Bernardina. That's 163. So a lot more. So, but you know, I took another sip right now. And it just blew my mind. It became like so much more complex. Let me try it again. It was pretty crazy. There's a lot of flavors going on in here. There's a lot of flavors going on in here. This is pretty great. I do have to say, this is awesome coffee. I gotta hand it to them. Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, when you order the pour over at the Reserve, they charge you like $8. And it's big, the biggest one that they have. It's as much as more than I made here now. It is more. It was a big cup. And they charge you $8. That's quite reasonable. I mean, that Bernardina, even if you brew it yourself, you're gonna be at more than $6 per cup. So for somebody to do it for you and to get it, oh, by the way, all 3 times that I ordered it, it was spot on, exactly the same every single time. So you know they dial it in. The grinder's right next to the coffees. I think there's an image. I'll try to put that image here on this part of the video so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But the grinder sits right next to the coffees, and then they weigh it out, they grind it. So this is dialed in, and the little machine that sprays and stuff, you know, I'm sure that the temperature is controlled precisely. The amount of water that comes out is controlled precisely. And I gotta hand it to them. It was exactly the same all 3 times, spot on, delicious, sweet. Yeah, so now that I tried it, it had cooled down, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. It changed so much, and there's so much into this cup, you know. It's pretty cool, you know, pretty interesting, I gotta say. Anyway, let me finish enjoying this, and I'll catch up with you guys in a couple seconds here. We'll make some espresso. All right, let's continue with the show here. Let's dial in for some espresso. It's funny, for somebody that has been so critical of Starbucks for so long, now I'm a big fanboy of the Reserve. Anyway, let's go ahead and dial in. We're gonna go with our usual dose, 18 grams. Try to get a 1-to-3 ratio as always. So that means 18 grams of ground coffee, get about 54 grams of liquid coming out from the machine. And we try to do that in about, I would say, somewhere around 40 seconds. Anywhere between as little as 25 seconds to as much as 45 seconds. It might still be good depending on the coffee, depending on, you know, a few factors. So let's shoot for 35, maybe 40 seconds with this roast. I think it will be delicious there. And let's see what we get. Now, I got the niche dialed in at 16. Why 16? Well, you know, it's a setting that's been working, and we'll start there. We'll see what the timing is like, and then adjust from there. So if it comes out too fast, we'll have to go to a finer grind, meaning a smaller number on the niche, maybe down to 15 or something like that. If it comes out too slow, then we have to go coarser. So we'll have to go to a higher number, maybe like 17, and try from there. And it's just all, you know, get the right timing. By adjusting the grind size, you'll be able to achieve that. So let's go ahead and dose out our 18 grams. I'm gonna dose right into the little cup that comes with the niche. Man, that was one delicious cup of coffee, I gotta say. I gotta hand it to them. This thing is, I had never had this Hawaiian cow. I have had coffee from Kona before, but this particular coffee, man, it's just great. They did a great job roasting this. Like, oh, here, by the way, I told you guys that the roast date is on the bags. You could see it there. Yeah, it's a little bit of a history as to their process of selecting coffees and stuff like that at the Reserve. So let's go ahead and dose out the 18 grams. All right, I'm at 17.9. We're gonna go with that. Okay, let me grab a close-up of this so you guys could see. But the niche is set right at 16. See if I can record this for you guys. All right, so you guys know after I stop it, I start it up again one more time just to make sure everything went through. All right, let's check retention. This is you guys' favorite part of the video every time. Okay, we started with 17.9, we're at 17.8, close enough. So that's usually what happens with the niche. You'll be off by, usually you're right spot on, but you could be off by 0.1, 0.2 of a gram, something like that, but it's very, very low retention, very accurate. Okay, let's do some puck prep. All right, so let me make some space here for all these things. Again, I talk about this stuff on almost every video. If you guys have a question or you for me to talk about specifically any of these items you see here, comment below. If this is your first time running into one of my videos and you want me to get more in depth into one particular aspect of what I'm doing here, let me know, and I'll make sure to touch on the upcoming video. I'll touch on that. But you know, I go over this every single time, so for the sake of what's going on here today, I'm just gonna go ahead and get going. All right, I have forgotten to get my WDT out, but we're gonna do some distribution with the WDT as we usually do. Well, this coffee came out really nice and fluffy, more than normal, than usually. Okay. Okay. All right, now the goal is to get it nice and even, nice and flat, where the coffee is nice and even in here. And when you finish, you should be able to turn it upside down like this, and it should not just come out. So that means you pressed it hard enough. Like how hard you press is not necessarily so important. What is important is that you kind of do it the same every single time, so that you can adjust other variables, so that you don't have to worry about your tamping pressure and things like that. Just keep it consistent, so then we can pretty much adjust the flow rate or how long the coffee takes to brew with the grind size. That way, that's the only variable that we have to play with if you keep everything else the same. Let's lock it in and let's bring you guys in a little bit closer. Set up the scale. Again, I have a review on the channel already on this coffee scale. Comment below if you want me to touch on anything specifically as to this scale, but there is already a review on the channel. It's a Time More Black Mirror Nano. So you put the cup on there and it tears. As soon as you get the A flashing, you can go ahead and do pre-infusion and you can brew your shot. It will weigh the shot and time the shot all by itself automatically. All right, here we go. Let's see what we get. Nice long pre-infusion. Oh, that's gonna be too fast. Way too fast. All right, we're gonna have to do another one. It didn't even time it. All right, let's try again. All right, so we were at 16. I went to just below 15. I went to what I would call, let's call it 14.9. Okay, so it's just below the 15. So hopefully it doesn't slow down a whole bunch, but I want to try to get it to about 40 seconds. I don't even know how long that shot took because you saw it didn't get timed. So anyway, let's try again. That just went totally wrong. But anyway, the thing is that I didn't record when I tried the shot, but man, let me tell you, the shot was perfect. It tasted great. I don't know how long it took. I'll put it here on the screen. I'll look back at the video and see how long it took. But I do have to say the shot tasted great. It was a shame. I drank about half of it and then threw the other half out because I don't want to have like an overdose of caffeine here. But man, I have to say that the shot was pretty delicious. So let's try again. I was not expecting that. I expected it to be sour, but it wasn't. It was balanced. It was sweet. It was nice. I think I could do better, but still, that was a good shot. A good tasting shot. Whoa. Where am I going with this? Okay, hold on. Okay, 18. 18 grams. Let's try one more. Man, I was so surprised that shot tasted so good. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that at all. All right, so we are just below the 15. Let's try this one more time. Man, I have a feeling now after I tasted it, I was like, well, I wonder if let's just see what happens. I'm like so surprised that it tasted so good. All right, one more time. Looks like everything went through. Let's check the retention, everyone's favorite part. 18 grams in, exactly 18 out. So spot on. And we're gonna go for another shot and see what happens. Let's do some puck prep. Now after tasting that first shot, I'm kind of having second thoughts of going so fine on this. Ah, my goodness, we'll see. Oh boy. But hey, this is part of the fun of you know, the hobby, right? Okay, let's finish pressing it down. Nice and even. All right, nice and even, nicely pressed. Let's lock it in. Let me bring you guys in closer. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but man, I keep my equipment clean. I spoke about it on a previous video, but when I opened this thing up recently to try to get the gauge to work again, well, the machine is just spotless inside. It even smelled new. It's pretty crazy. All right, scale, now work with me. All right, I'm gonna brew into my shot glass. Last time I used my little cappuccino cup. I didn't use my little shot cup. All right. Let's see. I did a really long pre-infusion, maybe about 6-7 seconds. Oh man, it didn't time it again. I'm gonna have to look on the. I'll just stop it by time, by weight. Okay. All right, got it pretty much spot on. I think this shot, being that the last one was so good, I think this one will be even better. So let's taste it and see what happens. All right, so I'm gonna look on the video and see how long that shot took to brew. But being that the first one was so good and unexpectedly so, I'm expecting this one to be delicious. So I think this one's a keeper. Let's see. I wonder how long it took though. I imagine that was somewhere around, I don't know, 25 seconds. Maybe less. Oh. It's a big difference as far as body wise. This one has a lot more body to it. It's nice and thick and just like usually the way it is. The other one was a bit lighter. It was the solids in the coffee were definitely not the same. This one has a lot more solids in the coffee. There's a lot more to it. It's thicker and gooey like it usually is from the niche. I don't see any reason to get this to brew longer. I just don't see it. This is perfect. I'm really curious to see how long this took to brew. For being a light roast, it's a very mild acidity. I do have to say, even as I pour over, there was a little bit hint of citrus in there, of acidity. As espresso right now, it's just very sweet and just awesome. This is a great shot of coffee. Wow, it's pretty wonderful. As a milk-based drink, I don't know, I think this one would work as a milk-based drink. It's just a good balance to get it as pour over, as espresso, just a straight shot. Just pretty wonderful all around. I do have to say, this has been one of my favorite coffees I've gotten so far. Now for milk base, I still think like that Good Brothers, that liquid amber from Good Brothers to make something with milk is still the best. It was just crazy. And if you want something like really interesting, that different. You could have like that geisha that we have from Good Brothers. There's some other ones that are gonna give you like more highs and lows. This is just very well balanced all around. For a lot of coffee drinkers, this would be perfect. Let me give it a nice swirl. Man, this is pretty good. Pretty good. Very sweet, very balanced. And this second shot is a lot thicker. The first one was, but on flavor wise, I would have been perfectly okay with the first one. I don't even remember how long it took. I'm gonna look at that. I'll put like a comparison of the two shots here as far as timing. I went down sometimes a whole, a number on the niche, going from like 16, like we did from 16 to 15. Sometimes it would be a huge difference. We had some coffees that we dialed in and we went down very little, and it made a huge difference. Some coffees is very little change. With this one's a lot more like your standard kind of change that you have to make on the niche. As far as espresso goes, just doesn't get a lot better than this. It's very well balanced, sweet, a little acidity, pretty much no bitterness. Just very little. It's just sweet, it's very good coffee. This is pretty delicious. All right, enough said. If you guys have anything you want to comment below, please do so. Please give the video a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you want to see the rest of the clips and images that I have prepared to show here at the end, stick around. I hope you enjoy it. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you saw something here that was interesting and entertaining. I hope you were having some coffee with me and I kept you company. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. By the way, stay warm. I know that it's still quite cold in a lot of places here around the country, so be safe. Happy holidays to everyone. Hopefully everyone is having a good, safe time with their family and enjoying time with their loved ones. And I'll see you guys real soon. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Definitely, Seattle is the coffee capital of the US. I've had some great coffee. Yesterday we went to a place, had my first shot made on a Slayer machine. Ghost Alley Espresso. There's just coffee shops everywhere here in Seattle. And so yesterday I had that coffee from a Slayer. A recommendation from one of our friends here on the channel. And it was a great experience. I mean, it was a fabulous shot of espresso. I had a cappuccino as well, my two favorites. And it's, part of what you got to do here in Seattle. And as you guys know, Slayer is made here in Seattle. The factory's here, and this is where it originated. And it's just part of the experience. So for a coffee enthusiast like myself, Seattle is definitely the place to be.